Riposte away your fear and your doubt, your queries, your sanity, all under the cloud. The wisp of home that breathes out loud will carry you home amidst the darkest of hour. Hello, I'm the Holy Hermit and I welcome you to a very special video for Monk. This video will cover Monk's exploding palm and explain all the reason why the skill has to change for future patches. Changes can and will be for good, provided if you make it happen. So before we proceed, I urge you all to share your valuable and constructive feedback by expressing your thoughts in the link shown in the description. If you share your positive feedback, I can guarantee you that your voice will be heard. Such is the stout promise of this humble hermit. So let's begin, shall we? Exploding Palm is and always has been the hardest hitting skill in Monk's arsenal. Right from the days of the game's release, as you progress in the game, monsters would get tougher and tougher. The way a monk would combat this is by using Exploding Palm, as when the afflicted enemy dies under its effect, half of its maximum HP is converted to damage and dealt to nearby enemies. Therefore, the tankier the opponent is, the more damage your skill will deal. Recently, if you happen to carry items such as Fist of Azdarask or Rhymeheart, you can further exploit this effect by making an enemy's demise more untimely. This amazing game we all play is centered on farming loot, and what separates a good player from a new one is the ability to do this at a faster rate. So where does Exploding Palm tie into all of this for Monk? The first problem is concerning the challenging aspect of the game. Greater Rifts now offer a high speed, high reward feature where each class can test its mettle. The way the Exploding Palm works, especially with certain items, all a monk has to do in Greater Rifts, no matter what the difficulty level is to play only with the palm itself. Once Monk is able to kill a single target marked with Exploding Palm, the explosion from the kill takes care of the rest. And when you add a Mad Stone to the build, the results truly get maddening. All a monk does is play with palms and forgo any strategy or skills for playing such a game. Just palm a monster, then rinse and repeat. Even though this makes farming fast, it discourages diversity in playstyle as no other skills are needed. This makes Monk unbalanced and narrows its playstyle vastly. So what can we do to avert this and still make the gameplay more balanced? The answer to this, of course, lies in tweaking the skill Exploding Palm. And this is where you, the player, can make a change. If you happen to have any suggestions to how the skill can be improved, please follow the link in the description and share your positive feedback not only with us, but with the devs too. Whether you're a new player or a veteran at the game, every feedback is welcome. So to start off the discussion, here is what I would recommend being changed. An enemy is marked with Exploding Palm and takes 9000% of weapon damage over 9 seconds. If the enemy is killed during the duration, full damage is dealt to surrounding enemies in a radius of 40 yards. The radius of explosion can be increased by pickup radius. So this means that this palm deals considerably less damage than the old one but has a radius of explosion increased vastly and can be compared to that of a mantra. So even if the enemies take less damage, you still do damage in a vast area if you choose to stack up pickup radius and even area damage. So what about the runes? Here is what I think. Following the footsteps of Bells and Kicks, all palmed runes should be elemental so we can make the explosion damage much higher with the right gear. But hey, there's more. All will offer active buffs in a 40-yard AoE and will cover aspects that improve the gameplay of Monk alone in regards to damage and survivability. So first rune, Incandescent Gaze, being the lightning damage rune. All enemies within 40 yards are immobilized for 3 seconds after applying the Exploding Palm. The marked target itself takes an additional 30% damage for 9 seconds. The second rune, being Hallowed Touch, dealing holy damage. Enemies marked with Exploding Palm get charmed for 3 seconds and taunt nearby enemies. If enemies die during the charm effect, the explosion deals an additional 3000% weapon damage. Third rune, being the physical one in form of Beckoning Stance. Placing a palm reduces the cost of your next spirit spender by 50%. In addition, your cooldown reduction stats are reduced by 5% each time a palm is casted. This effect can then stack up to 3 times at a total of 15% and resets after 9 seconds. Fourth rune is a cold one called Calming Winds. Every enemy afflicted with Exploding Palm freezes for 3 seconds and has its attack speed and movement speed reduced. If the enemies die within 9 seconds, the affliction is spread to nearby enemies in 40 yards. This effect will then last for 3 seconds only. Fifth rune is the old favourite, Essence Burn, dealing fire damage. All enemies including the marked enemy take 4500% weapon damage as fire over 9 seconds. If the enemies die within 9 seconds, this effect can then spread to multiple enemies. So such is my humble take on the new revised version of Exploding Palm. The goal behind creating such a skill is to be an initiating skill that buffs monks in ways that is ignored by other skills. Another aspect here is the ability of the skill to support spirit spenders such as Wave of Light, 7-sided Strike and Lashing Tail Kick to deal more damage. Even though skill deals less damage on its own, it will allow Monk to become the master of AoE again, a trait that is lacking in the current Monk. So would you like to add your suggestion to the mix? Write them on the post, and such as my promise stands, all suggestions will be heard. Take care then, and remember to contain the fury within, as only a calm ocean can harbour a strong fleet.